Okay, good morning, everybody. I hope you are having a fantastic day. So today I have asked you to bring along your intentions, the ones that we created in the workshop together. And so that we're going to work on those a little bit today. There was a couple of things that I want to do with you. And the second thing is that we're going to be covering today the topic of letting go, trusting, and also I'm going to tap a little bit more into the concept of feminine energy and receiving, because I received a couple of questions from the ladies that are with me here today. And do you guys what do you guys prefer? Do you want to start on the intentions, or do you want to start on me giving you the topic of letting go, topic of today? What do you prefer?
Well, I think letting go would be very useful before.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Before getting more.
Okay. Before looking more into the intentions. Okay. So let me take a sip of my coffee and then we'll get started. So the first thing that we need to know is that when it comes to manifesting, and we just spoke about manifesting here before I started hitting record, and this is now one of the topics that is going to also follow us for the next couple of days, right? Because it is one of the things that that I get asked a lot, and it's also one of the things that you guys have asked me a lot, all of you that came here. So I'm going to cover that for a couple of days in a bit more detail. And it's also great to do this in the context of the 21 days, because then you can practice every day some things that will get you closer to manifesting. However, this is not a pure manifesting workshop, right? So I have, I'm doing one pure manifesting workshop on the 22nd of February. And it's not coincidence that it's this day, because it's 22/2/22. And I will share more detail along this journey, but just so you know, so this is not a pure manifesting workshop, but I will be sharing some things of how I do it. And one of the most important things, so there are several factors when it comes to manifesting. The first one is one that I've already discussed several times, and that is the concept of gratitude and desire, right? So we always need to be, one of my coaches, Melanie and Layer, she says, you need to be with one step in gratitude and one step in desire, because at the same time, because we're grateful for what we have. So I mentioned yesterday that we're just house hunting, and how I am so grateful for the house that I have. But at the same time, I desire this other house where I'm going to move in with the horses, and I'm going to do my workshops and work with the horses and have people coming there. And so it's a place of transformation. So I do this at the same time. I'm grateful for what I have, and I am truly grateful. I don't just say I'm grateful. I really am grateful. This is a very important factor of it, because when we just like, oh yeah, I'm grateful, but actually we're not, then it's not true energy. And the way to become more grateful when we're having a hard time with that, because sometimes we're in situations where it is really hard to be grateful for what we have. And the way to do that is to be grateful for the littlest things. So to be grateful for, I don't know, like we have a garden, which is amazing. We have, I didn't find it hard to be grateful for this house, to be honest, at all. This house is wonderful and beautiful and big enough, and has everything, and it has a lot of light, and it's amazing. So I didn't find it hard. But sometimes when I see myself too much in this, like, but I want my new house and I want it now, in that energy, then I find myself going back to like, hey, but what you have now is also amazing. And actually it also has advantages that the horses are not with me yet, because, for example, when it's a really crappy day, I can choose to stay inside if I want. Once the horses live with me, I no longer have that choice. I need to go out every single day, no matter the weather, no matter the thing. And I need to go out several times a day and spend several hours outside. So that is something that, yeah, okay, I look forward to, but I also not look forward to. So then I'm like, yeah, it's going to be amazing, but I'm also very grateful that at the moment, actually, there's some things that I don't yet have to do, or that traveling for me is still very easy because I don't need to get somebody here in order to look after for the horses. So the moment traveling for me is a matter of, okay, when do I want to go? And I pick a date, I choose a flight, and I'm off, right? So that's very easy. So these are the things that I then look for other things that I'm grateful for in the setting that I am now, when I notice that my desire is becoming annoying. Okay, when my desire is becoming this like, but I want it, and I want it, and I want it, and I want it, then I turn more to gratitude. So this is the first one that is super important, that this is the core base of manifestation. So if you are completely new to the concept of manifestation and you want to start integrating that in what you do, as I understand all of you that have joined this workshop have, then this is really the first step, is to really get deeply into the context of gratitude. If you just practice that, you will see already amazing things shifting and happening and manifesting in your life. And which takes us to the second part that we just discussed before, which is receiving. And the thing is, we need to be open to receiving, and we think we are open to receiving, but a lot of us are not. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't for a very long time. I was very much focused on, and we just discussed this before I hit the record button, I was very much focused on how things had to be delivered and in the doing process of getting something. So I was raised, and most of us were raised, like, if you want something, you need to work hard for it, right? That's the way we were raised. It's very simple. It's like, because that's the way our parents were raised. Most of us, I think all of us, after Second World War, it was a matter of, rebuilding, doing, getting our life set back up, getting the economy back going. And so for them, it was like you had to do certain things in order to get that back going. Nobody spoke about manifesting or, receiving things. It was like, you had what you got, and you should be like happy for if there's bread on the table, and that's it, So this is something where this doing things has become very logical, and we're not open to receiving anymore. And it's the same thing with, also comes from our childhood in terms of the way we receive. So when we're given a gift, we're learned as good little kids to just say thank you, but we don't celebrate the receiving of that gift. We don't go, wow, like, we don't sit there with the package forever and we think about, oh wow, like, this person took such a time in order to package this. This is amazing. And we don't take in the full energy of receiving. We don't celebrate the receiving process. As a kid, you're given a gift, you wrap up the pieces and all kinds of things, and then you open the gift and you're like, wow, great. Okay, thank you. New Lego box. Okay, woof, set aside. Where's my next gift for Christmas? Okay, this one. Right? Oh, cool, Playmobil. Awesome. Okay, great. Next one. So it's really, we miss out on learning this energy of actually receiving and actually like celebrating that process of receiving. And so it's no wonder that when we grow up and we become women, that we're no longer a match for receiving energy, because we learned receiving in such a masculine way that we're confused what it's like to receive. So now when I receive, and I said this a couple of days before, I am so much more like intentional about it. And I'm so much more like, for example, we had Secret Santa, and I received here among the friends, and I received as a gift a book about Belgium and all the like funny things to explore, like unusual things to explore about Belgium. And I was really grateful for that gift, and I really celebrated it. And I said thank you to the person who gave it to me several times, because I was like, wow, this is so cool, because I love making memories. And this is such a cool way in order for me to make unusual memories, because you've actually got a list. It's so hard to find like unusual things to do sometimes. And you actually have a book now with unusual things to do. So this is amazing. So that was something. Okay, Francoise was kicked out. I think she'll come back. So this was something that was really a new process for me to learn to really receive, to say thank you. The same thing comes for the simplest things like a compliment. Somebody gives us a compliment. And like, oh wow, I love your dress. Like, oh, this old thing, like it was 10 euros at H&M. Like it's not really worth anything, you know, it's not special, it's not nice. Instead of saying thank you, it's my favorite dress. You know, I love this dress. It's amazing. It makes me feel good. It makes my boobs look amazing. You know, like instead of saying that, we're so focused on just like brushing it off and not being in that energy long enough to receive. So that's why it is super important to practice regularly. And that's one of the things that Bernice said today, is like she's really aware of this receiving energy sequence, because you need to be aware of how you're receiving things. And one of the things you can start doing is, when you receive something, no matter what, is to really receive it, like really actively be like, wow, how can I celebrate this more? How can I enjoy this process more of receiving something? The littlest things. Somebody gives you a free cookie with your coffee, like celebrate that. Somebody gives you, you know, whatever. You really celebrate all of these things. I'm just going to mute you, Francois, so we don't have the recording done. Okay. So that is the second thing, right? Is change the frequency of receiving so that you are, you know, your radio channel is on tune for receiving and not on tune for, I don't need this. Thank you very much, but I actually don't need this. Like say, yes, I'm up for receiving. Give me more, 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 right? And the other thing is that when we are receiving is that sometimes we are very much focused on how or what the universe delivers. And I was just telling the ladies here before we started recording that we're so focused on what our order is. And if it's not delivered in exactly the same way, like we're so used to with Amazon and everything that we have, right? We're very much used to like, this is what I ordered, this is what I get. And sometimes the universe delivers things that is not exactly what we ordered, but it is kind of what we ordered, but we're not open to see, hey, this is actually what I ordered. It looks a bit different. Maybe it's in a different color, it's a different format, but it's actually what I ordered. And and I was just saying, it's as if you go to Starbucks and you order a coffee, and you know, you order the big thing. Like I always order the biggest cafe latte that they have, like the super, I don't know, it's called Venti, I think, the huge one. And it's like they give you, instead of a huge one, they give you a smaller one, but then they give you 5 croissants for free. And you're really upset because you're like, excuse me, I ordered a big latte. Like, what's wrong with you? You know? And but you got 5 croissants for free. Yeah, but yeah, but no. And that is where we focus so much on exactly what we want that we may be missing out on something else amazing that is actually being gifted to us by the universe. That we're like, oh no, but I didn't order croissants. So even if you give them for me for free, and actually I would like to have a croissant, and actually would need a croissant, and actually croissant would be pretty much amazing, but it's not what I ordered. So I'm going to send it back, right? Return to sender. Thank you very much. I'm really going to be upset about only getting my medium latte. And I'm really going to be annoyed about getting 5 croissants, and I'm going to send them back because I didn't order them. Instead of being super happy and super content of, hey, you know, this is actually what I ordered. And potentially the day later, you know, the lady at the counter at Starbucks may have remembered, oh, that lady, she wanted a huge latte. So maybe tomorrow I'm going to gift her a huge latte and see, maybe then she's happy. You know, it doesn't mean that your order got replaced. It just means that maybe there's a step in between where you get delivered something else in the meantime, and you can be happy with what you're being delivered. And then the next day, the real thing gets delivered, right? So it's like a pre-delivery. So this is where we really need to open up to the sequence of receiving and being open to the process as well, and seeing like maybe there are steps in between. Like I had one lady coming to one of my manifestation workshops with the horses, and she said, yeah, I want to manifest a house for the horses. So she had exactly the same dream as I did. She works also with animals, but in a different way. But she was very much quite simply put, the dream she had was very, very, very far away from the budget she had. So she was thinking of like a 4 or 5 million house, and her budget, I don't know exactly what her budget was, but it was clear that the distance was like huge, right? And I said, well, the thing is that so what the horses showed her actually was that she's a mismatch for that big house because she didn't believe in it. Obviously, she couldn't believe in it because it was too far away. It was too far for her concept to believe that she could have that. And so I said, well, what if you break up your manifestation into two parts? And what if you move into an in-between house and then, along the line, you get the big thing? But she was so focused on when this house needs to be delivered, which was right now, and what was going to be delivered, which was this like 5 million mambo jumbo, castle. And that's why she was a complete mismatch for receiving anything, because she was so focused on this huge thing. But I said, yeah, but why don't you focus on the in-between step, and then you can let go of the timing? Because if you're attached to the timing, that's another thing that is an issue, but I will speak about that later. So having said that, we spoke about gratitude, receiving energy. Now it comes to trust and letting go. And the first two are really important to understand the third one, because if you're not practicing gratitude and if you're not open to receiving, there's no point in me telling you about trust, because it's an important part of the puzzle. So when we manifest, and you guys all brought your intentions, okay? So your one sentence of intention that we're going to work on today. So I would like you to look at that right now. Look at that one sentence and read it to yourself for a minute. And just think about, like, from a 1 to 10, how much do I trust that this will happen? If we take out the equation of time, right? If we're not attached to time, how much do I trust that will happen, and how easy will it be from 1 to 10?
Nadia, for this, I would like to check with you about this intention first, because in my case, I have an end goal regarding this intention, and the intention I wrote for today is this year's intention. So is it the end goal intention, or is it this year's intention, even though it's in the same?
It doesn't matter. Pick whichever one. It's just the point of doing this exercise with whichever intention, and just trusting that at some point it will happen. Like, if it's not, even if it's an intention for the year, what if it happens only next year? Is it going to be a disaster? Yes or no? But the point is, how much do you trust that this will happen for you? This intention that you set. Okay, do you quickly want to tell me, from 1 to 10, how much do you trust that this intention will happen?
For me, it's between a 6 and a 7.
Okay, that's already pretty good. Bernice, what is it for you?
I'm pretty much similar to Francois. Let's say, well, let's say 7 and 8. Try to be positive.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so one of the things is that so the bigger the intention is, the less our trust it's going to happen. The thing is that in order to manifest certain things, we think that we need evidence that we've done it in the past. So this is one of the hardest things to do, is to trust that something can and will happen for us, even though we have no evidence that it can happen for us. So, for example, if you consistently make 5,000 a month, you have evidence that you know how to consistently make 5K a month. Now, if on your intention board, there were something to say, okay, now I want to make 100K months, it's quite a big gap, right? Because you don't know how to make 100K. Like the stretch between, if you would say, okay, my next thing is 10K months, you would be like, okay, that's already it's already a step. It's not impossible, but it's, remember when we spoke about the potential, possible, predictable, possible, potential, right? Like those three categories. And the thing is that when we don't have any evidence, it becomes very hard for us to believe that something is possible, because we think, yeah, but I never made 10K months before, or my God, 100K, that's like miles away, right? But what if I make something in between that, right? So can we trust that the next step is there for us? But the thing is that we actually need to trust also in the very big steps that they will happen for us, even though we don't have any evidence that they will happen for us. And that's when we dwell in the field of potentiality. And that's when we really start to have fun with manifesting. But it really requires completely letting go and completely trusting that this will happen. So that means we put it up there in the universe and we just say, okay, I completely let go. And I completely trust that this will work out for the best, even though I don't know exactly what that will look like. And I said this example before. So when I moved here to Belgium, when I met my, let's not even talk about moving to Belgium, but when I met my current partner a year and a half ago, he was still married, I was still in a relationship, and there were a lot of things that we had to like untangle and to sort out. And it was a question, it was very quickly clear that I was going to move to Belgium, but then there was a question of, okay, he still had a house that he had together with his former wife. He had to get a divorce. We didn't have a place to stay. There was a list of like, I swear, 20 things that were necessary to be solved in order for us to be together in a normal way. And that's why I said this was such a complex and such a big thing to manifest, that all I could do is put it into the field of like, put it up there in the universe and just say, okay, I don't know which order, I don't know where to start, I don't know where to end, I don't know what to touch first and what comes when, and how to do certain things and how certain things will turn out. It could have been, for example, that his divorce would have been dragged on for years, which it didn't. They were very amicable. They found amazing solutions. They didn't need any lawyers. It was a really, really good process. But you never know those things, right? So what I did was, every topic that was thrown my way, I felt like, okay, so this is another piece of the puzzle, right? And you can do this with domino stones or puzzles, but I was like, okay, this is another piece of the puzzle. So I imagined that I had like a huge table in the universe where I would put every piece of the puzzle I would put on that table and just say, okay, I know it's going to be solved, but I'm not attached to when and how. So divorce puzzle, all right, that's a big one, pretty big puzzle piece. I'm going to put that on here on the table, on my universe table. And I'm going to trust that when the right timing comes, it's going to move and it's going to be done in the right way. Because it was better that they started talking about their divorce and their separation and all the division of assets and all of these things when the emotions calmed down a bit. But there was no way of knowing when that point of time was going to be, right? So I had to put that piece of puzzle on there. Plus, it had nothing to do directly with me. So it was not something that was really on my manifestation plate. Let's say it was kind of a half-half manifestation, right? So I put all of those puzzle pieces on my table of the universe. And I just said, okay, I'm putting that up there. I'm putting that up there. I'm putting that up there. And I just trust that the how and the what will be presented to me in divine timing. So in perfect timing. And that was exactly the way it happened. So I was presented each piece of the puzzle. It's like, okay, now it's time for moving. Now it's time for this. Now it's time for that. So each piece of the puzzle was presented at the exactly perfect time, and everything fell into place in the perfect way. It was really like this. It came together, like every set of piece was put together in the right order. It was amazing. I'm still sometimes surprised that it happened this way. Like, for example, this house, like I said, my partner inherited this house because his grandmother died. And so this was the perfect, and that happened a month and a half after we got to know each other. So even though it was a sad event, it still gave us the opportunity to live somewhere whilst we're looking for something, but it also gave us the opportunity to have a place whilst they were still selling their house and all of those things. That was another thing, for example, selling the house they had together. There were so many pieces of the thing that got together. Then moving here, for him to move here, me to move here. Like there was a lot of stuff, right? So that is why I put it on my table of the universe. And I just said, okay, I trust that everything will happen in the right time, and that I will be given the nudge and the sign from the universe, like, okay, now it's time for this puzzle piece. Now you look at this one. And then I took my to-do list and I started my to-do list, right? But I didn't do that before. That's what we sometimes do wrong, because we're like, oh, that's a bit like, you know, starting to put together the list for constructing a house, even though you don't know where you're going to build the house and what it's going to look like, and you don't have a plan, but you're already starting to buy bricks, because that just should be something on your to-do list, right? Like, I need to do something in order to realize this dream. So I'm going to start doing things that are ahead of time, which doesn't make any sense. So that's why we need to wait for like the nudge to say, okay, now is the time to deal with this. And then you start with your to-do list, right? So I got my sign, okay, now it's time to start moving. So then I took out my to-do list of, okay, how am I going to find somebody that's going to help me do this? Which way am I going to transport all my things? What am I going to give to whom? And what am I going to sell? Like all of these things started, that whole process started, right? But I 100% trusted, and this was the first time that I really did that consciously, is 100% trust that all of this would work out, and all of this would work out in the right time, and that I wouldn't have to deal with the how and the what. The only problem was that everybody around me kept asking me the how and the what. So everybody around me kept going like, yeah, but how are you going to move? I don't know. Yeah, but when are you going to move? I don't know. And where are you going to live? I don't know. And what is going to happen with this? I don't know. And, you know, and I was like, you know, because it's a bit hard to explain to people, well, you know, I actually do this thing, it's called manifesting. So I have all my puzzle pieces, I put them up in the universe, and people who've never heard of this before, they're like, what? Like, huh? And they were probably going to think you're a bit crazy. So that for me was the only problem, that people around me kept asking, yeah, but how and what and how and what and when, right? How and what and when all the time. And so if you're no longer in this vibe of how and what and when, and you really, that's the moment you notice that you really let go and you're really trusting, and you let go of the how and the when and the what. Because when people around you ask and you're like, I don't know, then you're like, hey, I'm manifesting. This is amazing. Because you realize you're doing it right then. Okay. All right. So this is the really letting go, trusting 100%, trusting in all of the things. So being open, like, again, the three things, okay, that we covered today. 1, gratitude and desire. 2, make sure your receiving frequency is on. So your radio station is on receiving frequency and not on thank you, I'm sending this back frequency. And 3, letting go and trusting that everything will work out the way it is, and being open for receiving things, even though they may not look like exactly what you want. So receive the croissants with lots of gratitude and be like, okay, it's not exactly what I ordered, but let's see what I can do with this in the meantime, whilst the real big thing is being delivered to me. So it's like an in-between step of the real thing being delivered. Okay. All right. Questions? No?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
So you mentioned at one point that, okay, some things we didn't do before, so there's no evidence. So this is the fact part. Okay, there's no proof that we're capable of doing that. Okay. Now, what if On the other hand, we don't look at this evidence, that means the fact part, that on this particular topic we're capable, but we focus on the mindset. So just to give you an example, if I look backwards, I was asked a question, did you achieve all your dreams at today? And I said, yes, I did achieve all my dreams. And when I look back, it's not because I was capable of doing this, because I already did this before. It's because I had a mindset of having so much determination that there was no blocks possible that could stop me from achieving these dreams. And they were very different dreams. So my question is, how does this component of being having so much determination in your mind, so it's an energy again, yes, it's an energy that whatever will come, so I have the image of the bulldozer, that whatever will be in front of this bulldozer, no problem, you will be able to achieve the goal, and whatever, how many blocks there are in front of this bulldozer. So how does this piece come inside?
Right. So this is the question between the balancing of the masculine and the feminine energy, because we can, there are some things that we can purely, let's say, manifest. Like, for example, you cannot bulldoze your way into finding the perfect house, because maybe it's not the right time to find the perfect house. And because finding it is an energetic match, right? So I cannot, but in the meantime, if I don't look at houses, if I don't look at the websites, the house is not just magically going to appear in front of my eyes. I'm not going to walk around here in the corner. I already know all the houses. It's not like I'm magically going to walk here around the corner and say, oh, here's the house. Great. Right? But it's a combination of two things. So it's saying, hey, I trust that in divine timing, the right house will show up. And in the meantime, of course, I will do the things, right? I will check the lists of the listings online. I will start getting in contact with realtors so that they have me in the back of their head, right? Like all of these things is what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to bulldoze my way into the house, because there are only this many objects on the market, and no matter how much I do, I cannot create more objects that are for sale. Like when they're for sale, and before they're not for sale, they're not for sale. So it's very, very simple, right? And that is that you need to find the balance between masculine and feminine energy, and that is actually the trickiest part to figure out, because it looks different for everybody. Your recipe looks different than my recipe, right? So like, my coach, for example, always says, and I love this, you're going to wonder how to do it until you wonder how you did it. Because some things we manifest in a way where money, for example, is one of these things. Some things we manifest in a way that we're like, I have no idea how this just happened or how I just did this, but somehow it happened, right? And money is one of these things, because money is also an energetic frequency. And you can, for example, do all the right things when it comes to, like, I know a lot of us are coaches, right? So you can do all of the right things when it comes to putting your offers out there, reaching out to people, I don't know, putting content on social media, setting up workshops. Like, you can do all the right things, but still nobody's buying your stuff. And that is a frequency. That has nothing to do with the more you do, the more you buy, you sell, right? It is just about energy, of being in the right energy, where somebody else says, oh yeah, this person is in the right energetic frequency, so I want to buy from them, right? And I think, Berenice, this is something you mentioned before as well, right? Like being in this receiving energy of doing. That's the thing. When we're so focused on, and I used to be this way as well, like when I launched new programs and when I put out my offers, it was all about my to-do list. And it was like, and the most extreme example I have for this is the first time I went on stage and I spoke in front of 1,000 people. And I was so focused on finishing my website that I was up until 5 a.m. in the morning to finish my website, and was then tired on that day, which thank God for adrenaline that I still was able to deliver my speech and everything was great. But after I finished my speech, all these people wanted to come and talk to me. And I was so exhausted that I had to go home and sleep. So, it's, but hey, I had a website that was up and running, right? And it would have been up and running as well before, but it wasn't perfect in my eyes. So I was like, hey, it's not perfect, so I cannot put this up there, and the video is not this, and I don't know, and that is not that. So I was so focused on the doing and having everything perfect that I was not being in the right energy on that day because I was so tired that I couldn't connect to people. So that was more disadvantageous for my business to, be up until 5 a.m. and finish my website instead of actually being there and talking to people. Right? So this is something where we need to find the right balance between being and doing. And it's different for everybody, because it's different for everybody, but typically we tend to be doing, and we do more than we should. And because we trust too less. And that's why we should question ourselves when we're doing certain things. Am I doing this because it really pushes my business forward, or it's really something that is going to move me forward with whatever I have going on? Or am I doing things because I don't trust it's going to happen otherwise? Am I being too pushy? And it's a matter of
this case. I'm definitely in this case. Berenice, I don't know if you're in this case, but definitely it's the belief there that the more I'm going to do is a way of, numbing, is that the word?
Numbing yourself.
The fact that I trust is not going to work because I'm in the equation, and I'm the block at the end. So it's all in the head. Yeah. And of course it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work that way. And it's the other thing, it's like we get so caught up with, as coaches, we get so caught up with, let's create the perfect website and the perfect landing page. And I don't have a video yet on my landing page, so I cannot launch it because the video is not there. And, right, Berenice?
You're talking about me?
Yeah, no, but I've done exactly the same. I mean, I'm not joking with you. I've done exactly the same. I said, oh no, I cannot launch this yet because the video is not there, or the picture is not perfect. I want this perfect picture with my horse. Like, just take any freaking picture of a horse online, like find it on stock, doesn't matter, find a simple solution, right? But we're so caught up on like, no, this one thing has to be perfect before I launch it. And then you lose all the time. And then it's a week before you launch and nobody bought it because you didn't have enough time to promote it. So this is something where we keep setting ourselves up for not having enough trust that, it's going to be okay and it's going to be all right. Like, just to start something because it feels good and it feels in the right energy, and just to start launching things where we're like, hey, I'm so excited about this program that I'm going to do. And I'm so excited about the people that are going to join. And I'm so excited about the results they're going to have. And I'm so excited about this thing. And then it's just the energy is right. And then you manifest the right people that fit that energy. And then every post is going to reflect that energy. But if you're so caught up on that one video, that one picture, that one text, that one thing, then the energy gets lost as well in translation. And then, by the time you're launching, you're so exhausted that you're like, oh, I just want to get it out there. And of course, out of that energy, nobody's going to buy, right? Because then you're like, just like, let me push the button to go live. And, but if in the meantime you talk about it and you already get people like hot for it and all of the things, then it's a different vibe and a different place. And then it's no longer the pushy energy. You have to look at, where am I pushing myself too much? Is that one video really going to make the difference? I don't know. Is that one picture really going to make the difference? Probably not, right? Plus, you can already start promoting it whilst you're still finishing the video. Doesn't have to be everything perfect when you launch it, right? So this is really finding the balance between receiving like feminine and masculine energy and trusting And as I said, sometimes we really do a lot of things because the problem is we don't trust it's going to go well. And if we just let it into the universe and say, what if we do it like this? Or what if I just attract people who want to work with me without posting anything on social media? Wouldn't that be amazing? What if I post, what if clients find me out of nowhere? I had it a couple of weeks ago. A client reached out to me out of nowhere. I have no idea how she found me. She said she found me in this group of women where I'm not even active. Like, I think I posted something there twice in my life, really not a lot. And all of a sudden she reached out to me. She's like, I want to work with you. I was like, okay, why? I don't know. It just feels right. Okay. How did you find me? Oh, in this group. Okay. And tomorrow I'm doing a workshop with her. I don't know how it happened. I didn't post any offers in that group ever, because that's not something I do. But these are the things, when you believe in the magic will come. So my intention for all of you guys is to really play around with that energy of masculine and feminine. So understanding, like, okay, where am I pushing too much? Where also am I not pushing enough, right? And finding that balance that's good for you. So that is the first thing that I want you to look at as a bit of homework. Like, think about, okay, where did I push too much? Where did I push too little? Where was I being too perfectionist? Where did I do things out of the energy that I don't trust and I don't believe that things will happen? All right. Any other questions before we quickly do the exercise for the intention setting? No. Okay. Just I need to find my. I really hope I can make this work. It is something where is it? Changed it. This is not good. All right, can you hear this?
Okay. Can we hear what?
No? Okay. No. Awesome. I love it when technical stuff doesn't work. And there's no way to put it on my computer. Okay, then I'm just going to put it as loud as I can, even though you can't hear it. But anyway, okay. So I quickly want you to, or quickly, not quickly, I want you to look at your intention. Look at the one intention that you brought for the day, okay, for today's exercise. And so first of all, I want you to see if you can, so now that we've spoken about it, where is your trust level now? Is it like 7, 8, 6, 7? Is it still where it was before, or do you think you can push it up a level?
So for me, I can push it up because I have some doing. I have to focus on something new. So I have excitement about this new thing to focus on. So yes, I would put it from a 6 to 7 to 7 to 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's already really good. I'm not so keen on the doing part of it, but it's okay. Whatever helps you to push it up on an energy level is fine. Whatever works for you is fine for me. Okay, what about you, Bernice?
I would say stay in the 7, between the 7 and 8.
Still 7 and 8. Okay. All right. Good. So what I would like you to do is we're going to have a quick visualization. I wanted to do this with a background sound, which is why I'm a bit annoyed that this doesn't work. But yeah, we'll see. We'll just go with the flow. All right. So I want you to close your eyes, lean back a bit, find a comfortable position. Okay. And just take 3 deep breaths. So in through the nose. Hold it and out through the mouth. In through the nose. Hold it and out through the mouth. One more time. And I want you to go to a place that is a really, really, really beautiful place for you. Like the most beautiful place that you've ever been. And the most, like where you felt absolutely amazing. This can be anywhere. A beach, cozy place at home, place in the woods, wherever you like. Okay. And when you're there, I really want you to take a good look around and see, like, what do you see? Where's the beauty around you? What can you be grateful for where you are right now? All right, and once you've taken that in, releasing all of the beautiful things around you. I want you to go to a place that is similar to the starting point, or that is the starting point of your intention. So this can either be right now, or if this intention is a little bit older, can be a little bit further back, like a month or two ago, or a little while ago. So I want you to go to the starting point. And then I want you to imagine that if you look at the starting point, if you look to the left, there is the future. And somewhere along that line is going to be the realization of that intention. And if you look to the right, there's the past of everything that led up to today and everything that led up to the starting point right now. Every little step to your right has led you where you are today. Every little single thing that you can be so grateful for. That now you're at this point where you can set this powerful intention and you can follow it. And I really want you to breathe that in for a moment and just stand there and take that all in. And really realize, like, wow, there's so much that I've already managed to call into my life. And all of those little puzzle pieces that brought me here. So grateful for all of those little puzzle pieces that brought me here. now I want you to look to your left into the future. And I really want you to turn that way. So to turn to your left, like make a 90-degree angle, turn to the left and look to the future. And really be aware of, like, what do you see in the future? What is the surrounding on your starting point? Is it colorful? What does that look like? And then I want you to make those colors a lot brighter, a lot brighter. As you start walking into that future, said goodbye to all of the things we're grateful for that are in our past. And we're now starting on this journey to this intention, and we start taking the first steps, and we are so excited. We are so excited to start this journey and to start walking. To actually think about, wow, what could this look like? This journey, this path we're on. And every step that you take, you see something even more beautiful, even more colorful. And each step you become even more excited about what's going to happen. You start smiling and grinning and celebrating every single little milestone that you achieve on the way on that journey. And the further you walk, the more colorful it becomes, the more you have to celebrate, the more grateful you are. And then in your own time, decide when you have achieved that intention. So when it's time to stop walking, and you're like, wow, now I'm actually here. Now I'm actually here. And really take a moment to breathe that all in. And to think about what your celebration party is going to look like when you achieve that point in time, when that intention that you set has become reality. Are you going to have balloons? Are you going to fly somewhere? What are you going to do for that celebration party? You can have a lot of champagne or fancy little cocktails. What is that going to look like? And I want you to take that all in, that celebration, like all of the vibes, all of the energy, and like really breathe it in. All right. And now I want you to take a 180-degree turn to look at that path that made you come here. That entire path, that entire journey. And I want you to be grateful for every single step and excited about every single step that you guys took to get here. To really have a mini celebration of every moment, every little milestone that you hit and be like, wow, what an amazing journey. And now I'm here and this intention is true. What an amazing journey. And then you come to realize, what was the energy that it took you to make this intention come true. Hold on to that feeling for a second of what was that energy. And then when you've celebrated enough, I want you to take again 3 breaths. Slowly but surely come back to this world. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right, welcome back. How did it feel for you? Was it easy? Was it hard? Did you see everything?
So for me, it was difficult at the beginning to get grounded, to get connected, because my mind was listening to the wind, the shutters, the noise around me. But then I managed to refocus, and then I was very much in the visual, because I'm a visual person, but so I managed. But I had to reach this point of being grounded to connect to really what you were saying to me. And seeing myself there. And then I felt really, how can I say, good. That means on a cloud, you know, flying. I don't know.
Good.
Light. Yes.
So
that's the
really
word.
light and very easy energy. Very good. I'm very happy to hear that for you particular, because you get away from that doing thing, right? It's more like, it feels good. It feels light. I'm excited about where we're going, this journey and everything. So good. It's great. Good. Bernice, how did it feel for you?
I liked it. It's the process itself. It was very smooth, and with your voice, you really invite to calm down the mind and get into that space. So it was a good exercise. I liked it, and I managed to visualize, but also to feel this what was intended to feel. So it's I would like to do this more again, to be more aware of the feelings and maximize them a little bit, you know, like connect more with those emotions and with those feelings, and ideally to name them, to say, okay, what is it that I am feeling? But I like the way it's done. I would like to do this again. I will listen to the recording again.
Yeah, you can. The good thing is you can always go back to this. It's a shame that this thing didn't work. I might actually record it again, just the visualization, and then do it with the proper background music because it's part of the experience. What is really important is that you now, if you can, okay, so we're gonna wrap up now. If you can, like, really just take 5 minutes and just write down or voice record it. What did you see? How did it make you feel? How was it when you had that, you know, like the different points, like when you were celebrating that you had achieved your intention? What did that feel like? And what did it feel like to look back on the journey and to celebrate the journey as well, right? Because sometimes we're so focused on the result that we don't celebrate the journey on the way there. And that's why this visualization is so powerful, because it shows us like, hey, it's great when I'm there, but hey, the path there can also be amazing. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. It can be, like you said, Francoise, a flying energy, right? It can be this flying energy where you just fly from one milestone to the next. And you're like, wow, this is amazing. I'm excited. And of course I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm flying whilst I'm doing. It's never hard. It's just like, oh, look at that. Oh, I'm just flying along here, you know, visualizing my things. So I would really encourage you, if you still have a couple of minutes, like really sit down whilst you're still in that energy, whilst it's still fresh, write it down or voice record it to yourself, and really like feel, what did you feel? What did you experience? What did that energy and that thing feel like? Okay. All right. Great.
Super.
And then hopefully that will make that intention even bloomier and brighter and bigger and everything. Great. Okay, then I wish you a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous day. Have fun with this. Enjoy doing this, this visualization. And if you can, in the meantime, go back and listen to it again. I will try to record it once more, just the visualization, but I'm not sure if I will be able to still do that today or if I will do it tomorrow. Okay. All right, everybody.
Perfect.
I wish you
Thank you. Have a great
Thank
day.
you so much. Have a great day. Bye,
Bye.
ladies.
Good
Bye-bye.
Sunday. Bye-bye.